Hello and welcome to Ditch Witch Diaries. We are in the plants of Mars and we are going to talk about juniper. And if you like our station, please like and subscribe. So let's just get cooking. Good looking.
Do it.
Juniper. Here we have, and I love juniper. I didn't even take a picture. I have the hugest juniper bushes and I should have gone and take a picture of mine, but I did not, sadly. So juniper, so there's two types of juniper. There's Juniperus communis, which is the shrubby type of juniper. And then there's Juniperus virginiana, which is the eastern red cedar, actually. So there's a tree one, a full, not the kind, not okay, so the cone kind of tree, not that's more of a cypress type. It's this is, so there's two types, one that seems more cypressy and then one that's more tree-ish. So anyway, this is the botanical drawing and this is what AI thinks. And let me tell you, AI is being a royal bitch lately. I swear. They have gotten so weird. I swear. I'm I've been, maybe it's because I'm all sober and fresh and I need some pot to deal with their shenanigans. But I literally cussed out AI. And I was typing hard.
Yes, that emphasizes it, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly, doesn't it? So juniper, the parts used are the berries and the needle-like leaves. And the other names are Aten or Inebro, and I don't even know how to say Geminier, Geneva, Genvrier, Ginberry, Ginipro, Gin plant, juniper berries, Sam, and Watchholder. That's an awesome little addition. The plant information. So it can be used as a dye for hair or fabric. And this gives gin its flavor. So a gin plant, all those things. So the berries are also used as a flavor to other alcoholic beverages. So there's also, in addition to gin, there's a Swedish health beer that uses juniper as its flavoring, and a French beer-like drink known as genevrette. So this is a slow-growing tree that thrives in sunny open fields, and it has a long lifespan, 200 to 300 years. So this is an old plant. And nice. It's a flavoring in Scandinavia and Northern European dishes, especially because for wild fowl or wild game, sometimes it has that kind of gamey taste, and this kind of overpowers that gamey flavor. And to know when the juniper berries are ripe, it's when they turn dark purple or black. They often, though, have a white surface. So you have to kind of go over there and wipe off the white surface. But it's usually between late summer through late winter. And of course, there's a quote there. So I don't know why. Maybe I quoted something and I didn't attribute. Or maybe I just put a stupid quote there, which is also possible. So the juniper is mentioned in the Bible, and we could go off on a huge biblical tangent, which I almost did. I was inches away from another pastoral kind of talk, like we did with the other herb. I forgot even what hyssop. But yes. So, but actually the juniper mentioned in the Bible isn't really juniper. So we don't have to go down that rabbit hole. It's actually a type of white broom called Ratama ratam or ratam. So let's just get into the lore and stories, and we will go into the Mediterranean first. It was considered one of the earliest incenses used by Mediterranean witches. And
phenomenal.
I know. No. You can see how that would work. I like a good juniper incense. It smells delicious.
Juniper is a very witchy herb.
It is. It is a very witchy herb. In Greece, it was burned for purification, and this is so apropos in time. So the Grecians gave it to the Olympic athletes to increase their stamina.
Delightful. Just as we're having our own Mothman Olympic Games.
Exactly. I wish I was more into the Olympics. I can't tell you anything that like
I'm
delights me
still not
less.
into it. Yeah.
I don't care about winning. I don't, you know,
There's some spinning. There's some really cool spinning.
spinning.
Yeah, like the gymnasts, they
Oh
like
yeah.
do weird flips and crazy shit, and we're just like, whoa, to every single one.
Yeah,
And then
didn't
it just
that
is
little
oh,
Simone Biles? Yeah, didn't that?
and we're
Didn't
all,
she?
oh, I don't
Yeah.
care. Oh, I don't know. I did watch it, but I like I like the bars. I like the uneven bars.
Nice.
They're neat to watch. Those people do weird flips. But that's it. I don't know who won.
I can tell you that is actually probably the only thing I would watch or that I'm fascinated by. And I'm fascinated that a little teeny creature like Simone Biles could hurl her body 12 feet in the air is astounding.
And then just spins like a little, like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I know. It's amazing.
It's incredible.
Like a feat. And they've gotten progressively more strenuous. Like early, like Olympians were like, even like that we used to watch, like, so let's just go back like from when I was born, like the 70s. They used to not do the type of tricks that they do now. It's like the level has increased dramatically. So anyway, enough about the Olympics. We could okay. So in Rome, okay, so they utilized the berries for cleansing and digestive issues there. In the European Middle Ages, they used it as an abortifacient. So put it on your list. In fact, we're going to see this again. So I don't know if Mars is about a lot of sex, but no babies. I can't.
I am, so I'll go with it.
Exactly. Yeah, so the phrase "to deliver under the savin tree," which is a juniper tree, was a euphemism for a juniper-induced abortion, actually.
Oh. Ooh.
And it's funny, they wouldn't call it a juniper-induced abortion. They called it a juniper-induced miscarriage. I was like, you mean an abortion? Like, what is an induced miscarriage?
It's an abortion.
Thank you. So the Egyptians
makes it sound a lot more scientific.
Exactly. The Egyptians, we saw, here's another use. They used it in embalming. And a papyrus from 1500 BC included a recipe for treating tapeworm infestations with juniper. Okay, now we're going to go into a list of the First Nations in North America.
Ooh,
I know, and their use of because it is a very important plant for the First Nations of Northern California, or Northern America, not Northern California, Northern America. And I'm saying that in the Americas sort of way, not in the U.S.
And also with like big old bunny ears.
Yes.
Angry bunnies at each other. Yeah.
So
America.
Exactly.
Sorry.
America. Sorry. It makes me want to call like an eagle when you say that. Especially since we know that the female eagles are bigger than the male eagles. So I'm all excited that we've chosen an eagle. It's like the foolishness and stupidity of the male ego. It's like not to realize that the larger of those species and the stronger of the eagle species is almost invariably the woman. Yeah. Anyway, so back to the Hopi, because I don't think the Hopi espouse any of that nonsense.
Good for them.
I know. And I always like to place where these nations were in our common place, so we know more. So the Hopi Nation was located in what is now northeast Arizona. So hence the picture looks Arizona-ish. Their legend calls it one of the chiefs in the world. And it's featured in the Hopi legend, and I could not find anything on this. I found it referenced once in like a Hopi site, and then I could never find what it was about, so I'm just giving it to you. the legend of Bololo, Okongwu, and the coyote. So sorry, I don't have it. Okay, then so the Navajo Nation. And again, the Navajo Nation is another northern Arizona nation. I have actually been into the Navajo reservation and to go to you have to be escorted to go to those I forgot even what it's called, those famous like slot canyons there, and I have beautiful pictures from it, but you don't get on there without the Navajo escorting you into that area. So it was very special.
That sounds pretty special.
Yes. Yeah. In a Navajo story, Juniper assists two warriors in neutralizing the toxic fumes from a defeated creature or a monster, it said. So they chew the juniper, which restores their strength. Now we are going to talk about the Blackfoot Nation. And the Blackfoot Nation is located in what is now Montana, but whatever. Okay, so, and their legend surrounding juniper is that the sacred otter put it on the sun altar. So a little fiery as well. Kind of reinforces that fire. So then we have another one. Another lovely nation is the Seneca Nation. And this is from another part of the country altogether. So we've kind of been out west and northern west. And now we're going to go to the Seneca Nation, was originally located around the Finger Lakes area of central New York and the Genesee Valley of western New York. So it said that juniper stands against Old Man Winter to return the spring.
Okay.
Now we move into another land, the land of Scotland.
Land of Scotland.
Scotland has some folklore about juniper, and they fumigate animals and homes and barns to ward against disease. So with juniper. And in Siberia, this is a great picture, actually. I like this Siberian picture because Siberian shamans, and that is an interesting thing because often people think that shamanic practices are like relegated to like South America or Amazon or something like that. But actually, like, it's interesting because I don't know if we had had a talk about cannabis, and it's interesting that there was a high-powered THC cannabis was found in the pouch, preserved in a pouch of a Siberian shaman. So not only were they using juniper, but they were highly intoxicated with cannabis because it was we always, I guess, so I'll babble on about that, but we have this idea that like before we made cannabis high THC, that like it was just like low THC, like the 70s and the hippies and whatnot. And so we have that mythologized kind of thing, and really hemp was all the same. It wasn't like smoking or like hemp. It was like all the same. And so a lot of it was low THC content, except for what we don't account for is that people knew how to grow high THC content, like to get those seeds and then plant those. Like the people knew. We act like people were dopes before modern technology. Anyway, back to the scheduled program about juniper. So Siberian shamans used juniper smoke to purify the animals that they were going to sacrifice in ritual. So then this is an interesting thing, and I had no idea that this even like existed, but I am excited about it, and it's something that I want to definitely like look into. But there's Pennsylvania Dutch folk magic called, I think it's brocherie, and I did not even know that that was a real thing, but I'm excited for it, and I hope that there's some sort of ethnography that was written by a member of the brocherie, or if that may be the type of magic. I may be there probably is a way to, I think they're called brochures, like the practitioners. like maybe a browser. It's Braucher, just like that. I hope one of those practitioners has written an ethnography that we can all sup off of. So they use juniper to get a thief to return stolen property. So what they would do is they would pick a juniper tree that was already bent towards the rising sun, and then you would tie your request for your item to be returned to that tree, and it was said that that would bend the will of the person to return your property. So now correspondences. The element is fire, of course. The planet is Mars or the sun, and we saw that reiterated with the Blackfoot Nation as well. Yeah. The astrological sign is Aries.
That was also black pepper, I think, right?
Yeah. Aries, yes. And the deities are Asherah, Astarte, and Ishtar. The Sabbat is Samhain. And here we go with magical properties. So it's used for banishment and to keep things banished. It's used in exorcism, hex breaking, love, and sex. Of course, these are like love and sex is so Mars related, so it's got to have some of that in there. And it said that men should carry a juniper sprig in a red sachet to increase their sexuality. It attracts good, healthy energies. It's used for purification, and we saw that all over the place. Especially of animals. We saw that too. Animals, especially that were going to be used for a ritual. So, and also the barns of animals. It's a protective herb, which also seems to be like a very Mars type of thing. It guards against theft, especially. It protects evil forces and people, protects against evil forces and evil people. Evil. Evil. I love evil too. It protects home from evil forces and evil people. Ghosts, even. Sickness, snakes, and theft. And so you can, if you want to protect your home, like it's really, in fact, I may go do this. This is kind of a cool little thing that you could do, is string the berries together and hang them over your door. I know. I think I'm going to go out there with a needle and like a fishing line and just go out to my tree and pick. Yeah, that would be fun.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I know. So another way to protect your home is to make a juniper amulet and place it at the direct center of your house.
Ooh, that's going to take math.
Some thinking, exactly. Maybe an engineer. My house may be a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's true. You could probably
my little she shed.
Your place.
Exactly. Yeah. So a protection charm that's used especially for children is you can take a juniper berry and a tag lock from the entity to be protected from. So if you want to protect them from like a dog, you would take a bit of dog fur. If you wanted to, like whatever you want to protect them from, you would use something from that. You would use frankincense, cumin, salt, breadcrumbs, iron filing, and then whatever other like personal gnosis that you have that you're being called to use. That's like the basics though. And it's also used to move energy. It's good for psychic power increases. So the berries are said to strengthen the power of the self, which is also related to the solar plexus chakra. Like, so that with clarity and vision, things can be seen as they are. It's good for inner peace and trust. And its symbolic meaning is to cleanse, bless, and protect. So now the medical disclaimer. Read it. If you have any thoughts that we are like any way associated with the medical profession, we need to disabuse you of that. So. So the medical properties is that it's an abortifacient, as we talked about before, a diuretic, carminative, an anti-rheumatic, an antimicrobial, an emmenagogue, and a stimulant. It's an antiseptic for cystitis. It aids in digestion and eases flatulence and colic. It eases joint pain. So ye old rheumatism cure, always
Yes.
in there.
As usual.
It's you can use it as a diuretic tea. You can breathe in the vapor like in a bath for bronchitis or lung infections. And Native North Americans drank the tea for fever.
Ooh.
It can be used as a salve for animal wounds and to control flies on animals. And of course, yes, you want to avoid it if you have kidney disease or if you're pregnant. So, and you don't want to, and you do indeed want to keep that little bundle of joy. I would avoid. Okay, and there are the sources. So let me stop shedding. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about juniper as an herb or a plant or a tree of Mars. And we will see you at the next Ditch Witch Diaries.